evening, everyone. Welcome to our Board of Trustees public session agenda for September 22nd, 2020. Thank you, everyone, for joining earlier today at our oath of office and swearing in ceremony, and welcome to tonight's meeting. As usual, we wanted to get our meeting started with our Pledge of Allegiance, but prior to that, I just wanted to welcome our two new trustees, Trustee Joe McLaughlin and Gina Aresta. Wanted to thank Russell Cradival for being here. We have Village Attorney Brian Egan, Chief Thomas Cummings, and I believe we have Gary Gillespie with us as well as our current trustees, Andrew Plaro and Mark Parrish. So thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. We can begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. So we can all rise and stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we have a brief meeting today. We do not have any board presentations or public hearings, but we can open this up for public comment. If there's anyone who does have public comment, please feel free to raise your hand. I know we have a number of participants tonight, so we can wait for a few moments here. And if there's public comment, please feel free to.
I have three hands. I have Bonnie Cannon, Evelyn Conrad, and Rob Coburn. So which order, Mr. Mayor?
We can just go in alphabetical order. We can, by first name, we can start with Bonnie and then go to Evelyn and Rob.
Okay, Bonnie, you're on. Unmute yourself, though.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I wanted to just to congratulate the new trustees that have joined the board, and hopefully you will have a fruitful time there. And I also wanted to just follow up on specifically the food pantry and the particulars around whether or not the Heart of the Hamptons will be able to move into the ambulance barn, if that has been decided or not. Of course, I do support that. We are looking at food insecurities that will be coming up in the winter and the fall. You have the parking lot that's right there on the Meeting House Lane. I know people are concerned about the traffic. I can only say with myself being, and I'm sorry, I didn't say my name was Bonnie Michelle Cannon, 54 Miller Road, Southampton, New York, sorry. And I can say that with me also running a food pantry down in Bridgehampton at the Bridgehampton Child Care and Recreational Center, one of the things that we did to help with the traffic is we schedule appointments with individuals to come in to pick up their food at a specific time. That way it's put out and they can put out on a table and they can just pick it up and they can leave very quickly. So that I will offer that as maybe a solution for especially those that come on a regular basis, that can be done. So there are ways in which you can address how the food pantry gets food to those that are in need through appointments and other things. But I would hope that you would seriously consider the food pantry being moved to the ambulance barn. It is something that's needed. It is a win-win for the community, and it is, and these people are a part of our community. So I'm just wanted to reiterate my support of the Heart of the Hamptons moving to the ambulance barn. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you're on mute.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Bonnie, thank you very much for your kind words. We like seeing you, and so hopefully we'll see you again soon. Well said. Next, we have Evelyn Conrad.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Evelyn.
You can. Okay. Well, first and foremost, you really can hear me, is an enthusiastic welcome to Joe and Gina, the new trustees. And I've got to tell you, it's not just congratulations to you. I can't tell you how many enthusiastic friends you have in my subdivision and in among the people I know in the village, and there are quite a few. So welcome, and I've got to get to some business.
Thank you, Evelyn.
All right. In the past few
Yeah,
weeks,
thank you.
I have sent emails with attached documents to our Mayor Jesse and the trustees in office at the time. These emails concerned two applications, one to the ARB and one to the ZBA, which violate constitutional property rights, deeds, and the right not to be subjected to taxation without representation, and involves at least 24 people. I'm asking Mayor Jesse to make these emails and documents available to the two new trustees to stop the applications with flagrantly illegal and fraudulent announcements to so-called public hearings. Let me explain. One is 31 Roscoe Drive in the same section of the Roscoe Place subdivision as my own property at 18 South Roscoe Drive. This is section 1, approved and certified and filed with Suffolk County Clerk in July 1960. Yet, I was not notified of this so-called public hearing, yet property owners on Hill Street outside the Roscoe Place subdivision have received notice of this hearing. I think since all the trustees bear some liability here, we should give a chance to the two new ones to catch up. The second application for new construction in the same part of the Roscoe Place subdivision has been submitted illegally to the ZBA with a fraudulent land survey, which I have not yet sent to the trustees, but I will tomorrow if you like. And omitting all the other property owners in the entire Roscoe Place subdivision, maps 1, 2, and 3, who have a right to attend those public hearings and agree or disagree with the applicant's proposal. The two applications should be rejected either sine die because of their violations of New York state laws and the US Constitution, or at very least adjourned until the two new trustees can become familiar with the issues and ask me certainly any questions they may want to have answered. And I would like to also state that I am obviously available with about 1,000 pages of documents to our new attorneys. I think there's a new one for the village. I certainly haven't met him before. Hi, Mr. Egan. And Alexandra Cooley, who has made some rather surprising comments, like that the 31 Roscoe Drive application does not violate the open meetings law. Has nothing to do with it. It's substantive. I'm sure Mr. Egan knows the difference between procedural and substantive. Anyway, I would like that adjournment, and I'd like to know about it. Thank you, because there are meetings coming up which are not public. Thank you, and welcome again to Gina and Joe.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you as well. Our next public comment is from Rob Coburn.
Hello, sorry about that. I got kicked out and brought back in. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to congratulate Gina Aresta and Joe McLaughlin. Congratulations on your win. And I want to thank them and the other candidates just for your willingness to stand before the electorate and to serve if you were chosen to do so. You know, the challenges the villages face, be they water quality, downtown revitalization, affordable housing, zoning code updates, many others, they're substantial. And the resources that you all have to meet the challenges are finite. And I suppose one definition of the job of a trustee is to maximize and prioritize the use of resources to meet the challenges. And you know, I want to comment on one thing specifically happened recently, and with apologies to Gary, I don't want to put him on the spot, and this is not coordinated with him in any way. He's probably not aware of what I'm going to say, but there was something that took place during the election where Mr. Gillespie was targeted specifically and impugned in a way with a video that, at least as of yesterday, was still available. I just want to say that, you know, I think of all the resources you all have to prioritize, human resources are the hardest to find and to keep. And good human resources are rare. And human resources in the person of people who go above and beyond their written roles and responsibilities are the rarest of all. I've had the privilege of working with Gary on a number of issues informally, from street trees to traffic issues, and more formally over the last year or so with respect to water quality. And my observation is that knowing what I know from the inside of the Clean Water Committee in particular, every resident of Southampton Village should be very pleased and grateful at the amount of effort that Gary gives to go above and beyond what I believe his or likely written responsibilities are in his role as head of public works. And he's been a great benefit to the committee and a big resource for the committee and therefore for the village. So I was disappointed. I know Mr. Gillespie wrote a letter to the paper, but I would just say that the video purported to show or showed him removing some signs. It was deemed to be done in a deliberately partisan way. I've actually watched in this election cycle and in the election cycles for the 30 years I've been in the village, I've watched signs from both or from all candidates being removed when they, not in every case, but when it gets to a critical mass of too many signs in the right of way, they get removed regardless of party. And I'm disappointed and frankly embarrassed that someone would take one cherry-picked video of one incident that happened to show the removal of signs for one set of candidates and try to impugn Mr. Gary Gillespie's integrity. I think it's shameful. And I'm saying I wanted to put this on the record, and I'd like to ask the board to consider making a statement of either support for Mr. Gillespie or denunciation of that tactic, because it's not just about this moment and correcting that wrong. It's also about sending a signal of support to the most important resources you have, which are good, you know, human resources in the form of employees, board members, or volunteers. I think it sets a really bad precedent to let an unfounded allegation and the attack on someone's integrity to sit out there. It demotivates employees, board members, and volunteers alike.
3 minutes.
Okay, that's my comment. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob, for your statement. Do we have any additional public comment? I know we have a few people with some questions, but if there's anyone else who does have public comment, feel free to raise your hand and we can loop you in.
We have Tyler Dixon.
Hello there, can you hear me? Trustees? Yes, you can. It says I'm muted, but you can hear me, yes?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to the new trustees, and thank you all for your time tonight. First, I want to say that the reason I was reaching out is to talk a little bit more about the discussion of helping Heart of the Hamptons. And I'd first say that hugely supportive of the mission that Heart of the Hamptons plays at a very vital time. And so I don't want anybody to misunderstand my support for everything they're doing and everything they can do for the community. I did want to just ask for the Board of Trustees help. I know important focus on the project of looking at whether the ambulance barn is the right place for the community, for the facility to be located there is the right answer or not for the community. And wanted to suggest and ask not only the existing Board of Trustees, but also the new ones to help us carefully consider that option as opposed to coming to a quick conclusion. I think separating what's important to help our community and then the best location for it, I think deserves some more attention. And what we would humbly ask is that the trustees, carefully consider taking a look at not only that location, but other locations that may serve the community best and help the Heart of the Hamptons in the right way. I know when the ambulance and first aid squad was moved to the new location, I think the trustees did a great job of having architectural review, planning review, and other reviews, and didn't do that out of obligation, but did that out about trying to make sure I had the very best insights for the most professional people. And so I'd humbly ask that we consider looking at this, the trustees looking at it from a zoning perspective, because some have raised issues about that, but also with a positive spirit to see that we have all the information we need to decide if in fact that the location of the ambulance barn is the right location. A neighbor suggested that another alternative, the Southampton Town School District of a property on Major's Path might be one example of an alternative. I'm not qualified to judge that, but I think taking a look at the best opportunities to both help Heart of the Hamptons and help our community is something I would ask for the trustees' help on, and to make sure we look at it through all the lenses that are necessary to come to a fulsome conclusion with full information on a timeline that incorporates the best thoughts of all involved.
Thank you very much. We appreciate, as always, all the public participation in our meeting. So thank you again for the comments tonight. I don't know if we have any additional public comment. I do not see any hands raised, but we can wait a bit longer just to see if anyone else is interested in making a public comment. So with that said, with no further public comment, as I mentioned earlier, we do not have any board presentations tonight, no public hearings, and no communications to the board. Maybe a brief meeting this evening. We do have our suggested resolutions. So as per usual, Russell, you can get us started with the first resolution this evening, and we can go through all 6 of them.
Entertain a motion resolved that the reading of the minutes for the public sessions of August 25th, 2020 and September 10th, 2020 and the special meeting September 4th, 2020 be dispensed with, and that those minutes be accepted as filed by the village administrator, and that the actions taken at those meetings be and hereby are ratified and approved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Entertain a motion resolved that the claims for the warrants dated September 22nd, 2020 totaling $117, warrant number 9, general fund 2019-2020 fiscal year, and $440,535.85, warrant number 8, general fund, be audited and approved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Russell, a quick discussion. Would you mind just reading through, any expenses that that may be, pertinent, or anything, $2,500 or over?
Sure. So we have Barnwell House of Tires, which is NFPA required tire replacement for a fire department truck. You'll see later on there's a resolution to auction some tires. Although these tires are mandated to be replaced over a certain period of time, they still have a value, and so we do get money. We do receive money back on the tires that we are replacing. We have First Presbyterian Church, which is our parking lot lease agreement. It took a while to get the contract negotiated and signed, and we just caught up from. This is for the months of April through September. We have Fundamental Business Services, which is a company that collects at our justice court for people who have not paid within a certain period of time. They get a percentage of what we collect. New York State Employees Health Insurance, which is the monthly premium for health insurance for village staff. And PSE&G is utilities. Vincent Toomey is outside labor counsel. Verizon is for phone services. Those are the invoices that are over $2,500.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And entertain a motion resolved that the Board of Trustees increases the rate of court interpreters to $170 per session effective September 15, 2020.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Entertain a motion resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the Village Justice Court to apply for a grant from the Justice Court Assistant Program up to the maximum amount available.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Entertain a motion resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the village administrator to publish and post a public hearing on October 8th, 2020 at 6 p.m. prevailing time for a local law to amend Section 11043, Schedule L, stopping, standing, and parking restrictions of Chapter 110 of the Village Code to regulate parking at the Railroad Plaza.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the mayor to enter into a license agreement with Heart of the Hamptons to lease the village property at 44 Meeting House Lane, subject to review by the village attorney.
So moved.
Or a second.
Second. Mr. Mayor, just on the motion, while we have the motion in the second. Again, just to outline some of the terms, going to be, if this passes, the proposal is pursuant to a lease agreement for with an initial 10-year term, 2 10-year renewal periods at the tenant option, provided they're in full compliance. They will undertake commit to a capital campaign for the renovation. We will maintain the exterior. They will maintain the interior and utilities and remove snow and ice kind of for the immediate occupancy. And those are the general broad strokes of the license agreement, with no rent component based on their capital commitment, of which they will put forth in the lease for between $400,000 and $500,000 to be amortized over that initial 10-year period.
Thank you very much, Brian.
No other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Entertain a motion resolved that the Board of Trustees accepts the performance bond for Beechwood Latch LLC located at 101 Hill Street in the amount of $19,415.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Just quick discussion here. Brian or Russell, would you mind just kind of just explaining, for those who are listening in, what exactly this is and why we're doing this?
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, go ahead, Russell, if you want to.
Well, essentially, when a project like this is taking place, they are obligated, amongst some other obligations that they have, such as funding affordable housing, which we accepted a check for that a couple of weeks ago, and I understand that there may be some park fees involved. They need to post a bond that will guarantee that the initial set of work that they're going to do gets completed, and we hold that in an escrow account until they meet the terms of what it is they're going to do.
Correct. As long as it's completed to the satisfaction of the village, the bond would be released. But if it is not, that funds the village being able to complete their obligation as set forth by the zoning board or the planning board. That's correct.
Thank you very much for that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Entertain a motion resolved that the Board of Trustees declares 16 Goodyear tires as surplus and authorizes the DPW superintendent to sell by auction.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, everyone. I actually just wanted to move forward. I do see some comments in the participant section, and I understand that there is a letter, and we'd like to basically include that into our meeting. And so, Russell, if you have that letter, I'd like to just to make a motion to read that letter, and just so we can get that on the public record.
Okay. This is to Mayor Warren and the Village Board of Trustees. The Southampton Village Trustees are primarily responsible to property owners, taxpayers, and voters in the village. You are not under the administration or part of the administration of Southampton Town. Your responsibilities are delineated by New York State law concerning Village Home Rule, which enables the small hamlets in New York State to govern areas such as the maintenance of streets and parks, the establishment and execution of controls on building and development, and the limited policing of the area within their jurisdictions. Southampton Village does all of the above and has established protocols and codes to guide these efforts. In the area of zoning, the zoning code in section 11628 states there shall be no change in the nature of a character or such non-conforming use or of such building or structure. The parcel on which the abandoned ambulance barn garage stands is in R12.5 zone. This means a residential single-family minimum lot size of 12,500 square feet. The village trustees can not simply allow non-conforming use without first changing the zone for that parcel, which would entail a defamed procedure called spot zoning, or it would require a change to the zoning code, both acts requiring a public hearing and an environmental study. Further, the trustees would be acting as arbiters in this case without first assigning the planning commission or the planning board the task of determining the best usage of this village property, with a primary view of this conforms with the village master plan. This plan, many elected officials and various board members in the village have studied, considered, and advised regarding workforce and affordable housing. Here's a building that just might offer opportunities to finally produce positive results for housing. The Heart of the Hamptons is not a village institution and admittedly serves to benefit mostly persons in the outlying Southampton Town areas. Southampton Town occupies many properties in the village and renders no monies whatsoever for the costs resulting from their presence. All these financial burdens are borne solely by the village's taxpayers. Should the town be encouraged to expand its presence in Southampton Village? Southampton Town School District, managed by the Southampton Town School Board, owns a property on Majors Path that previously served as pre-kindergarten. The school board has been queried regarding this building, and they will take up the issue as to whether to offer it to the Heart of the Hamptons on the Tuesday next meeting. No survey has been done by the Heart of the Hamptons as to what its patrons or users might prefer for a site, albeit they have no real say in this matter. Nonetheless, common sense would lead one to the conclusion that most of the patrons of the Heart of the Hamptons would prefer to obtain their benefits anonymously on a quiet side street rather than in the middle of Southampton Village on one of the busiest and most traveled streets. Further, the Majors Path building would provide a base for future expansion for Heart of the Hamptons activities such as clothing offerings, educational efforts, and events planned around fundraising. These future options would surely offer opportunities for Heart of the Hamptons to obtain grants and to improve overall fundraising. No traffic study impact has been made specifically, and no regard has been given to the impact of deliveries as they may develop over the future. Due to traffic congestion on the South Fork, larger deliveries have been scheduled for off-hour periods, resulting in huge trucks dropping off food and local markets during early morning hours. This would not be a problem on Majors Path, but would certainly affect the residents on Meeting House Lane. If the trucks were not coming in the wee hours of the morning and arrived during rush hour, they would block traffic in both directions. All I and other village taxpayer wishes is that you do not make any hasty decisions, but cautiously deliberate this issue with special regard to the points made in this letter. Sincerely, James W. McFarland. And the second letter reads, to whom it may concern, I would like to address the board on the new food pantry on Meeting House Lane. As a volunteer at the homeless shelter at my local church in Manhattan, I know the value of food and shelter for the less fortunate. However, I feel the village board has not been transparent on this proposal. There are so many questions that have not been answered. Who are the people behind this organization and their experience? What would the hours of operation be? Is there ample parking? How much additional traffic will it add to the already congested Meeting House Lane? Today, traffic is bumper to bumper, both morning and evening rush hour. What is the percentage of the use of Southampton Village versus Southampton Town? Have any other locations been explored that would be more accessible than the village location if more folks are from the outside than from the village? Why would the village commit to a 30-year lease for something so new? In 5 years, deliveries may be made by drones. What is this organization's long-term plans for the growth and other services that would be permitted? These are just a few of the many questions that I'm sure other neighbors will have, and I ask that the board provide additional information to the community before voting on this issue. Please read this at tonight's meeting. Joe Giordano.
Thank you very much for sharing that. We just want to make sure that those letters got on the record so that everyone knows that we are considering everything. And, we appreciate those letters, and it's nice to hear from, all residents of our community. So that said, we can conclude our meeting tonight with comments from board members. First comment is one of our new trustees, Trustee McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for. I want to say it's a pleasure to be elected trustee, and I look forward to working with all of you going forward. And I'm always here to listen to anyone and all the opinions. So please feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I look forward to it. Thanks, Mayor. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee McLaughlin. Next is Trustee Aresta.
Well, first, I could ditto Joe and what he said, but from my heart, thank you for such a warm welcome. And I'm very looking forward to working together with everyone. So let's get to it.
Thank you very much, Trustee Aresta. This is obviously just one of our shorter meetings tonight, but there'll definitely be plenty of longer meetings in the future. Appreciate everyone keeping their comments brief, but plenty of time for lengthy discussions in our comment section. Next is Trustee Parrish.
Thank you, Mayor. And I want to congratulate Gina and Joe again, and welcome to the board. And albeit this is a little bit different than we've normally had in the past since COVID hit with the, Zoom style, but hopefully we'll be able to get back to in person and really starting to, be able to feed off the public and be able to sit side by side and start to really get to work and do the things that we were elected to do. I also want to say to Kimberly Allen and Zach Epley that I was very proud of the way you guys went through the election. You held your head high, you got to the facts, you went door to door, and you worked hard, and I was proud to see you guys go ahead and do that. Kimberly Allen, thank you for your service to the community. I had a great time working with you on the board, and you made me think of things in a lot of different ways I hadn't before, and I appreciate that. And I wish both of you the best, and please reach out whenever you want to, talk and give me some advice. To some of the departments that I am with, the highway department, there's been a lot of tree work going on. There's been a lot of things going on over the summer. They've done a really good job. We're now going to be moving into the fall. We have some cleanups coming. We have some potholes to start looking at. We have some leaf cleanups, which will be coming probably at some time in October. I think Gary and I spoke about that recently. Parks Department, still doing maintenance, cutting, getting ready to start pulling some of the plants and flowers that are starting to go beyond their useful life. The park and the fountain that's got a gate around it, a fence around it. What's been going on there is there's been a leak. They've fixed the leak, but we're trying to figure out what needs to be done with some of the water fountain. It's having problems, so we're looking at some ways to sort of put some other, type of fountain style things in there that will allow it to be really, really, really done well. Beaches. This is the last weekend for lifeguards we extended it for the first time. And I'm very happy to say that we've had no issues over the last couple of weeks with anything, even though we had a lot of storms. And as you know, right now, the beach is really, really rough. And it's getting, a lot of the parts are getting eaten up through these hurricanes that are coming through this busy, active season. But this is the last weekend of it, and I am again proud of the way that they handled themselves over the summer. Proud of all the departments that I've been able to oversee during COVID. It was a challenge. 50% capacity to start, going out, an enormous amount of people out here at a time when we normally haven't had it, and they were resilient. It was tough, and I want to let all of them know, and to everybody that's in this village that is employed, that does the work, the day-to-day activities. I'm very proud of the way that we've handled COVID. I'm very proud of Southampton during COVID too. It's been a lot of comments have come back that they felt really good being out here. They felt really safe, and so kudos to everybody for getting involved and doing the work that needs to be done. Finally, there is 10/10 Columbus Day weekend. They're coming out with a new type of retail. I guess you want to call it incentive rather than Black Friday. They are now trying to push it earlier to start to get people into the mood of, being able to shop and spend. It's something that they base off of a program in Asia, and now they're looking to do it here. So national retailers are signing on. And it's something I'd like this board to think about, to get the businesses online, and maybe since it is a holiday weekend, it could be a perfect opportunity to maybe shut down the streets at night one more time. I know Southampton Art Center is going to be doing quite a few programming opportunities that night. So I'd like the board to think about that, and maybe we can all touch base and start to look at ways to give one last push for, a successful holiday weekend before the season starts for the holidays. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Parrish. Our next comment from board members is from Trustee Polaro.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too would like to echo a warm welcome to Joe, to Trustee McLaughlin and Trustee Aresta. I look forward to working with them for the next while. And, I think there are some projects that we all can share in together. So looking forward to that. Some of those projects, and Mr. Mayor, you said it, well today in some of your comments that you made at the swearing in ceremony, now is the time really to take action. And there are certainly some things that we can take action around. And at the last meeting, I talked about and wanted to make sure that the H2M sewer district mapping was continued and kept going forward. So I think now that we can really look to make the village a poster child for clean water and the environment all over the East End and the South Fork, with really working together now to try and find a way to work with the trustees, work with our village attorney, work with some of the experts, and really look at then the hospital and start negotiations and talking with them. So I'd love to, really try and move that forward. I'd love to really try and take that on and work closely with it. I think there's also an organization that is very willing to help us kind of move in that direction as well. So I think that would be, very good to keep on tabs of. I think that, with all of the stake owners, the town, the village, Lake Agawam Conservancy, we really can move forward and move quickly on this, because a lot of things are working in our favor today. So very happy about that. I think if we can do this, we can, lock in the lowest possible rates for our business owners that would really be affecting by this over a long period of time. And it also really should help to kind of revitalize our business district. And I think it would be a way to revitalize them without really burdening the district. So especially with a lot of the economic retrenchment that might occur going forward. So, we start a new 100 days today. I know we had plans after we were elected, Mr. Mayor, and maybe with this new 100 days, we can get the mapping done for the district, and we can really maybe have some really solid and concluding negotiations with the hospital. So all forward to really kind of take that on and move it forward, because as I said at the beginning, now is the time for action. So very happy to work on that. I think one of the other things that we can look at that was brought to our attention by a resident is the CCA, the Community Choice Aggregation, with regards to power supply for our village residents. And I had a wonderful call with the town who has moved forward on this. They have actually put in place and adopted a local law that is on their books. So I'd love for us to, at some stage, and I will reach out to the other trustees, reach out to you, Mr. Mayor, reach out to Brian Egan, our attorney. But I know that these people have been in touch with a couple of our residents from all over the community. And so I think it would be wonderful if we could add this as a local hearing, which would then really give our residents a choice in the supply of electricity and where it's coming from to the residents, whereas today they have no choice. It is just directed by PSE&G. So I think that will be very good to work on. thirdly, as I said in the last meeting, work sessions, back last spring, or really probably even pre-spring, in the late winter, we talked about, work sessions and, making one of the meetings a work session. So would love to really try and move that forward again. I think it would allow us to have the openness and communication to really push things and move things and allow for us to talk about what we are doing and how we want to do it for this village. Fourthly, this coming Friday is Car Free Day, International Car Free Day on the 25th. I know East Hampton Town is participating in it. Would love to, whether we participated in it on a full organizational or not, I think it would be great. Let's try and leave the cars home. Let's try and bring down as many greenhouse gases as we can. And with that, fifth and lastly, is the weekend of Saturday, October 3rd and Sunday, October 4th, is the 2020 Great East End Cleanup. I know that there are bags in Village Hall that you can go in and collect. Social distancing will be in effect, wearing masks and all of that. But I think that those are some things that can really help out for us going forward. Finally, I too wanted to thank Trustee Allen for all of her hard work and dedication in the time that I worked with her. It was a pleasure working with her, getting to know her, knowing how much of a deep dive she would do into the issues that we were working on. And I hope that I can follow suit on some of the things that I will now be working on with our current trustee parish, Mr. Mayor, who I've worked with for a bit, and then the new trustees coming in, Joe and Gina. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Polaro. Definitely well said. Thank you for letting us know about the car-free day that's coming up. I certainly know I will definitely be able to participate in that, as well as the East End cleanup. Would love for all of us to get together and participate in that. That will be very important. We could work with our community to get this cleanup rolling. And then also wanted to thank you for the mention of the work sessions. I know that Trustee McLaughlin also mentioned that as something that would be really helpful to us. And I think that if we can push that forward, I think that would give us ample opportunity for us to speak as a group with the public, being able to listen and have really increased dialogue and slightly change up the format of the meeting. So I think that's a great idea. And perhaps at our reorganizational meeting, we can even add that to our agenda and make sure that we adopt a once a month work session. And I think that would be a great opportunity for all of us to work together and make it a bit easier. So thank you very much. For those listening tonight, would definitely encourage everyone to listen to the swearing in and oath of office session today that took place at 3 p.m. It was a really great afternoon. We had a great turnout. And it's just a great opportunity to kind of see local government in action and to see how the swearing in ceremony takes place. Wanted to thank Father Mike, Judge Solomon, Judge Wilson for participating today, and our entire community for coming out. So I would encourage everyone to take a look at that. And so we have a lot of exciting things planned. I won't want to keep everybody longer than we need to tonight, but wanted to thank our new trustees, our current trustees, for their comments this evening. And we're looking forward to taking action, as Trustee Polaro said. So now's the time. We have a second 100 days, if you will, and we're looking forward to digging in and to doing the best that we possibly can. So with that said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.